Good morning. I hope that you're doing well this morning, enjoying your favorite cup of coffee, your favorite cup of tea, or depending on when you are watching this video, maybe you've already transitioned over to water. Let's get into today's video topic, and it's around this idea of redeciding. So I want to share a couple of stories. Redeciding for me and the way that it used to show up. When I transitioned online, I would make a decision and then I would question that decision. I would make a decision and then I would question that decision, which frustrated me to no end because in my seasonal event that I had run 34 different events, so 17 years, two a year, right? I could make a decision and be done with it and move forward. It is so much lighter when you can make a decision and move forward and not in your mind have just a whole plot storyline going on that is paralyzing you so that you can't move forward. So then what is happening? How do we get past that? I think part of it is a trust in ourselves. Like that's how I used to feel. Like I would make the decision, but I was afraid in making that decision, trusting myself that the actions that I was going to take were going to result in the way that I thought. Like that is that whole cycle that we are going through when we are deciding and redeciding. And the only way to get out of that cycle is to learn to trust yourself. How do we do that? By taking action. It's either going to turn out the way that you thought that it would, or it's not. But either outcome, now we have some data. Now we have some information. We can make an informed decision to continue to move forward. My son was doing a board this week for a position for his senior year. And one of the things we were having a conversation about it. And in a military school, you have to think about like, how do they implement? Well, they plan, they implement, and evaluate. It's the same 3 steps. You plan, you implement, and evaluate. My younger son was keeping everything in his head, and he's carrying a really heavy load, and he's got some really challenging classes this year, or this semester, I should say. And because of that, it was all like mushy, and he couldn't prioritize. He did not have a plan so that he could make a decision to implement and then evaluate that outcome. I talked to him last night and he was like, the biggest takeaway from this week is I have to map out my plan every single week. It made a huge difference in how calm I was going into my week. And instead of being stressed out about my German test, I knew I could see that it was coming. I had made my plan. I worked my plan. And the results were he got a good grade. Same thing for the other quizzes and tests that he had to take this week. And so the whole idea about redeciding, we don't really realize how much energy that is sucking away. But more importantly, when we talk about overwhelm, I don't know necessarily that it's overwhelm. That's the word that we're using to describe it. But it's the redeciding that is holding us back. Speaking of redeciding, this week inside of our live stream that we're going to have inside of Systems by Design, I have started these series and they're called Clean Sweeps. And Clean Sweeps really, they speak to one specific friction point and I share how to get out of it. I share a solution. Well, inside of Systems by Design, the whole month of January, we did a whole series about breaking up with overwhelm. And Pam had such an amazing question around her notebooks, about the overwhelm of notebooks. I know you have a pile of notebooks. You probably have boxes of notebooks. You probably have filing cabinets, maybe bookcases, maybe on your table right now on your desk of notebooks. Those are deciding and redeciding, like we write out. And I think that is a form of learning, is being able to see it and like the touchy feely, like all of the things. Doesn't a blank notebook just open up all kinds of possibilities? But what if we could Now organize that information without rewriting it and actually use it. Because those notebooks represent your growth. Your notebooks represent your learning. Those notebooks represent the time that you spent in writing those notes. Oh, so good. So this week we are doing a clean sweep workshop, and it's all around how to get the most out of those notes. So we go from not using them at all to turning them into resources that we can start using in our business. Because you've already told me by the fact that you stopped, by the fact that you took notes, that that information is important to you. If it's that important and time is your most valuable resource, we're going to flip that. So now it's something that you can actually use. I'm over the moon excited about this month's workshop. So make sure that you join me live. You can find all that information a couple places. In this email, well, you don't see the email here, but in the email, there's a link for you to register. There's also inside the members area, right there where you see live streams, you can register there. And you can also register inside of the Systems by Design community. I'm loving this theme. We're talking about it for the full quarter. I have activities planned this month and next all around helping us get out of redeciding mode. Because if we can get out of redeciding, we can start to take the imperfect action that is necessary for us to get where we want to be. I'll end it today with a quote that my daughter said. You can't start where you want to finish. And here's where Mama comes in and she says, you just have to start. All right, I hope you have an amazing day. Take care, and I hope to see your smiling face on Wednesday.